Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another After Effects tutorial. This is Christian here with 214 Studios. Today we will go over creating a lower thirds, working with animation. So we'll animate the lower third starting outside of the screen, coming into the screen, and then going back out. Great thing about After Effects is as soon as you get to the home screen, you have home, sync settings, learn. You can click on learn, right? And then you have all of these hands-on tutorials. These let you follow step-by-step instructions in the app. So you see 3 minutes here, 4 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 3 minutes here. So you can create a lot of cool things in After Effects with tutorials right here. Okay, so definitely use the learn button as a resource to keep you going in After Effects. All right, so for this project right here, we're just going to click on new project. Today we're going to create a new composition since we're not importing anything. All right, I always go over the interface right here. So you can see right here we have a basic interface right here, but sometimes you don't have everything going on over here. Sometimes this bottom might be gone. So a lot of times I just go up to the top right here. You can see window, go up to workspace. I select all panels. I don't like how this looks, so I might go up to here and click on default, and this looks good. This looks good for me. You can see the last time I had this open, I had CC Sphere opened up. And then you can click on these different panels over here to see if you need something over there. So just as a reminder, because sometimes when you open up After Effects, there's always something going on different. You can always click on the learn button right here, standard, just in case your interface isn't acting how it should. All right, so first things first, we're going to jump into our new composition here. So what we're going to do, since we're working on the lower thirds, I'm just going to type in lower thirds as my composition name. And then you can actually put your name after this, so you know that it's your file. So when you save it, you know that it's your file. All right, so we're going to go down to preset right here. You can click this drop down arrow, and what we're going to go to is we're going to go to UHD 8K 23.976. So we're just going to click on that. It gives us a bigger file. So when we drop our lower thirds into anything smaller than that, the resolution will be great. So we don't have to worry about anything looking a little bit iffy. All right. So in your pixel aspect ratio, you want square pixels. Frame rate was already selected when you did the preset. All right. So you want full resolution. And then the duration right here, we're just going to change this duration to 10 seconds. All right. And then for your background color, you just want it to be black. All right. So if it's not black, you can easily just click on this little color here. And then this brings up the color space. And then you can see how this works here. So if you click and drag it, goes up and down, changes colors. We're just going to have it black. So we just click and drag it to the bottom left hand and we have black. So once we have everything like this, we click OK, which then brings up our transparent background right here. If you don't see the transparent background, that's fine. Our transparency toggle is right here. So you can see we can click it on, click it off. I'm going to keep it off right now just so we can see our lower third that we're going to create. So if we go up to the top left hand side right under animation, you can see that we have a rectangle tool right here. If you don't see the rectangle tool, you can click on it and hold, and you can see how we have different options here. So if you were to start off and it had a star right there, don't worry, you can just click it, the star, and then go to the rectangle tool and then just easily select it. All right. So once we select our rectangle tool, we have these options that come up here, right here. All right. So we have fill color, we have the stroke options, and then we have the stroke color. All right. And then right here, we have our stroke width. So all of these things are going to determine what exactly your lower thirds looks like. So if we just come right on the screen, I'm just going to click and drag into a rectangle, and you can see what that looks like. I have an orange rectangle. All right. Now the color really doesn't matter. It's a personal preference. But that orange is looking really nice right now. So I'm going to add a stroke on here. And let's just say this rectangle isn't looking right. Like something doesn't look right. Okay. So I'm not going to add the stroke just yet. I'm just going to troubleshoot for you. Okay. So if this rectangle doesn't look right, maybe you can't see it or something like that. It could be because, let's see, if we go up to fill, we can click on fill options, and then one of these radial gradients could be selected to the point where it doesn't look right. You see how like right now you can't see it at all. So if I click OK and we use a transparent background, you can't see the rectangle at all. It's transparent. You can see the outline from After Effects, but there's actually no rectangle there. So what we want to do is go up to fill, and then we want to click on the second one. It says solid color. So if you hover over it, you'll be able to see solid color, linear gradient, radial gradient. So you want it to say solid color. You want the blend mode to be normal, opacity 100, preview clicked on. Okay. All right. Just a little troubleshooting just in case yours didn't pop up like that. All right. If we want to change the color, we can just go up to the color right here and click on it. And then we can just navigate, click and drag, and you can see the colors changing. So color is personal preference. I think the orange was looking really nice. So you can see also preview here. If preview isn't clicked on, it won't change like that. So just a little troubleshooting right there. So you want to make sure preview is clicked on, and then click and drag to the color that you like. All right. So you press OK. And say, for instance, your stroke is acting up. I'm just going to show you what stroke does. So you can click on stroke, and then you can click on radial gradient, and you can actually see what's happening. All right. So for right now, I'll just hit solid color, press OK, and so you can see the stroke color on the outside is a little bit dark. All right. So if you want to change the color, you just go right up here, click on the stroke color, preview is selected. So I can just bring this up. As you can see, it's staying black because this little circle is in the bottom right hand corner. But if I click and drag it up, you can see that color changing. All right. So I'm just going to make it maybe a different shade of orange. How about that? All right. And click OK. Now over here, you can see the stroke width. So right now it's at 84. If I wanted to make it bigger, you can see it changing. If I wanted to make it smaller, I can make it smaller. So it's just clicking and dragging on that right there. Okay. So that's how you adjust your lower third, make it a little bit more personable. You can create the colors and different things like that in the stroke as well. All right. So moving into the animation aspect of it. So if we take our cursor and go down to our shape layers, you can see right here, I just clicked on the shape layer. Okay. We have different arrows all down here that will allow us to move the lower third, or actually do whatever we want with it. Honestly, I mean, it's incredible what you can do with After Effects. So if you don't see these arrows down here, it could be because this arrow right here is facing to the right. So what you want to do is click this arrow down here, and then you just keep clicking the drop down arrows until you get to rectangle, and then you get to rectangle path, and then we can click on rectangle path, and now we're in a good spot right here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the rectangle start outside of the screen to the left, come in for 2 seconds, actually 3 seconds. So it's going to be out of the screen, come in at 2 seconds, stay on the screen from 2 seconds to 5 seconds, and then it's going to exit the screen at 7 seconds. All right. So first things first, we need to make sure that the lower third is outside of the screen. So what we're going to do is come down to position. All right. You can see this position line right here. We're going to be working with keyframes as well. So what we're going to do is, you see this numeric value right here. We just click and drag it to the left. And it's taking a little bit of time to move out of the screen. So what we can do is hold shift and then click and drag, and then it moves it much quicker. All right. So right now our numeric value for this area on the screen is 5185. All right, so 5,185. So what we're going to do right here is click on our little clock right here. And what that did is it created a keyframe right here. So if I move this blue timeline indicator, you can see the keyframe right here. All right. So that blue timeline, the blue timeline indicator, wherever it is, whenever you change this numeric value, it's going to create another keyframe. So if I change this numeric value right here, you can see it created a new keyframe. Now, if I want to get rid of the keyframe, I have to click on it and press delete on the keyboard. Okay. So we have our rectangle lower third outside of the screen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag our blue timeline indicator to 2 seconds. And you can see right here, it says 2 seconds. So you can click and drag this if you want to 2 seconds, or you can type it in if you want, just like we did when we changed the duration. Okay. So we have it at 2 seconds right here. Now we want the lower third to be 100% visible at 2 seconds. So what we're going to do is just hold shift, and then we're going to click and drag and bring it right in. That's perfect. Let go. So you can see it created another keyframe. So if we go back to this keyframe right here, we can just go ahead over here and click on this arrow. This takes us from one keyframe. We go to the right. This takes us to another keyframe. So that's how you go back and forth to different keyframes. Now, as you can see, the keyframe right here, the value is 5,185. If we go to the next keyframe by clicking this arrow, you can see right here, you can see that the numeric value is 345. Okay. So these are all based on numeric values. Now, I want this to stay on the screen for 3 seconds. So I can just drag this blue timeline indicator to 5 seconds. I can see that because it's right here. It says 5 seconds. All right. And I want the same numeric value of 345. So what I'm going to do is just go over to this little diamond right here and click on it. And as you can see now, we have the blue diamond over here because we just clicked on here to over here to create a new keyframe. All right. So right now, if I go back and let's see it, and I press the space bar to play it, let's see what we have. All right. So now we see that it stays on the screen and we want it to leave the screen. So what I can do is take this blue timeline indicator, click and drag it to 7 seconds. And then we just want to take it outside of the screen. So I can just go right back here, press and hold the shift key, and then click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. And then let's see what we have here. So then I press the space bar. So we have it coming in. It's in at 2 seconds, stays on the screen for 3 seconds, and then it leaves in 2 seconds. And then it's done. So now it's repeating. So that's how you animate a lower third. Next thing we need to do is export this transparent background. So we went over that one a little bit earlier, but in another video. So we're just going to recap on it this time. So make sure that your transparency toggle switch is activated. This is our transparent background right here. All right, the gray and white squares. So to export this out, what we're going to do is go up to File, Export, Add to Render Queue. And then what we want to do is make sure that our output module down here is all set right. So you want lossless with alpha. If your computer doesn't say lossless with alpha, you can click on this arrow and then you can just scroll up to find lossless with alpha. You can click on it there. And then you just want to change your output to, if you're, it should say what you named it in the composition. So you shouldn't have to actually change this. So if it doesn't, then you can go ahead and click on the blue letters, okay, and change the name. But you need to click on the blue letters automatically, all right, because you need to save it in a proper location. So just go ahead and click on the blue letters. If you need to name it, you can go ahead and name it, but you need to make sure that you save it in a proper folder. That is important. And once you put it in the proper folder, then you're already set to render it out. So after you do that, you just go over to render and you click render. And depending on the speed and the processing power of the computer, you can see this blue line right here. It might take some time to render it out. It gives you an estimated time right here. It says probably take 2 minutes to render it out. And it kind of shows you a little preview up here as well. Okay. So depending on the speed of your computer and how much processing power you have, that's going to determine how fast that blue bar goes. But once it goes all the way to the end, it will make a ding sound if you have your volume turned up on your computer, and that means that it's all completed. And that is it. So if you found this video useful and helpful, please subscribe to 214 Studios. And if you would like to see more tutorials and different things like that, need a little bit more explanation or more help understanding keyframes and animation, please leave us a message and we'll get back to you. Other than that, see you again. Peace.